Syrian says, first off, the SEO battle plan is great. I'll +1 that. You guys did an awesome job. There was one part of the battle plan that I couldn't find much information on. I couldn't find much info on anchor text diversity or anchor text ratios for the different types of rankings you cover. I was wondering if you could either PM me with suggested anchor text suggestions or post it here for the different types of rankings. Thanks. All right, well, I'll cover it. I'm not going to type it out, but I'll cover it right now. And Syrian, typically what I focus on is naked URLs and brand anchors, almost 100% now. I do naked URLs a lot, but I do brand terms quite a bit as well. And it depends on where the links are coming from. Now, if you're doing syndication through your blog, then you're going to be creating contextual links within the post of, the blog post, the body of the blog post that you're going to be syndicating out to your networks. And so remember, they start off as internal links because you're posting on the blog, but it's going to get syndicated out. However, if you're using a tier 1 branded network only as your syndication network, instead of tiered networks and all that, then you can use keywords, because remember, when you do internal linking, a lot of the times you're going to set keywords as anchor text anyways. And that helps. It really does help. But, one of our partners in SERP, Roman, he's been crushing it with on-page SEO. I mean, the stuff that this guy is doing is just like magic. And he's ranking for some serious crazy terms, like national terms or even global terms, with just mainly on-page stuff. It's insane what he's got going on. So what I'm getting at is there's a lot that can be done with just on-page. And if you're using keywords, that's fine, especially with just a single tier branded network, which is part of the reason why I always suggest just doing that, because it's easier. It prevents potential issues with over-optimization of your anchor text profile. Because if you think about it, when you syndicate a blog post to a single branded network, you're really only getting 3 contextual links syndicated, right? Because the rest are just a link back to the blog post. Does that make sense? So like the bookmarks and the PDF site, like, the cloud storage sites like Google Drive, those kind of things, social signals, so the social media posts, all they do is link back to the post URL. So there is no republishing of the text of the post itself. It's just a link back to the post URL. So it doesn't matter what your anchor text ratio is or the anchor text of the links in the body of the post. But for Blogger, Tumblr, and WordPress, and if you happen to be using Medium and what's the other one, Weebly and stuff like that, which aren't auto posting anyways, but if you happen to be using those, you got to take those into consideration. But for a typical standard network, it's going to be 3 contextual links that actually get syndicated out. And because of that, that's not you don't have to worry about over optimizing unless you continually publish blog posts to your blog using the same anchor text over and over again as part of your internal link up to one of the pages of the site. So just keep that in mind. If you're doing external link building, so if you're building inbound links from third-party sites, not through syndication, but through like PBNs, for example, or through like link building packages that you buy from either SERP or from Black Hat forums or whatever else, other link building services, if you got your own tools or whatever, then I highly recommend that you stick with naked URLs, very broad keywords instead of exact match, especially if you're doing local and stuff. And then also generics, and in brand terms. But I mean, that's pretty much it. As far as like the actual ratios, I gave up trying to figure out what the perfect ratio balance is, because we just realized within probably 2 or 3 years ago now that it's really naked URLs and brand terms. That's all that's required. If your on-page is correct, if you have really good on-page optimization done, then you can rank with strictly branded naked URLs, because the keywords are all taken care of throughout your on-page. So I know there's a lot of people out there, and again, traditional wisdom, conventional wisdom has been that there's always, everybody always says that, not everybody, but a lot of SEOs, a lot of conventional wisdom states that there should be, 20% brand terms and only 5% exact match and 10% broad match, and then 30% generics and 40% and all that. Okay, I get an ice cream headache just thinking about all that crap. So I just stick with making sure on-page is really good, and then I just use naked URLs and brand terms almost 100% of the time. What do you think, Marco?
No, man, I agree totally with your answer. I don't think I can add anything to it.
All right, perfect.